they might be leaving.
Oh, really? She okay?
Yeah, she's not happy with me.
Oh, she's not happy with you?
No.
Okay, well. It took, for Jen,
She's a great math teacher, and that's what it is, cause she wants to get out of math.
she wants to get out of
Or
that.
do special ed, and I don't have a special ed math spot for her. She's a great teacher, I love her, we
It-
get along
it-
very
it
well, but
took-
she's upset cause,
It took 2 years though for her to buy in.
but she,
Well,
that's
a
the
full
thing though,
year.
she's a good math teacher, I need her, you know what I mean, so it's,
So, you know,
gotta do what's best for our kids.
I'm not asking for an
Yeah.
answer, but I think the question might be why, you know, what is it that makes her want to do or not do math, or not do math, but do special ed? What is it that's drawing her? I think you have, you know.
but I don't have, even if those, it draws her, I don't have a spot for her for that,
I
unfortunately.
know, but there's some components to it, it's not just special ed, there's something about it that is drawing it,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, the other thing is, we've talked to Region 13 about math manipulative training for you guys for a couple of years. And what they have said is they haven't had requests for it. Now, don't quote me on this, okay, don't quote me on this, but the way I understand it is that they, you know, they have to be partially self-supporting. Consultants do it at service centers. So they have to build their program of workshops that they're gonna offer now, like during the summer. And once that's set, you know, that doesn't change during the year, so you can't just suddenly say in October, we need some math manipulatives. So if y'all need math manipulatives, and if you're gonna have this Title II money that it looks like that you're gonna have, then I would request, Region 13, I'd call them and ask them if they've got, if their math specialists have any math manipulative, PD.
I've heard from half of you. Ask a question or make a suggestion. What do you think of Patricia?
My suggestion would be that we use some of the time perhaps tomorrow, that we talk and process next steps with anything that we learned, like today. Like, we learned a lot of good stuff with math, but what would we see, like, I would wanna talk it out with my principal colleagues of like really wondering, okay, does it make sense fitting this part in, or no, this is coming up, maybe I'm thinking doing PD and this, so that I'm really doing it in the moment rather than, and there's not a lot of time that we're together, so,
Well, you're in luck.
yeah.
That's what's on the agenda.
That's exactly what's on the
Okay.
agenda. Okay.
So
Thank you
come-
for the
come-
suggestion.
Come with your ideas though, and your questions already
Okay.
formulated, so you can really go a lot further with your conversation.
Cause yeah, you need the time. We need the time to work together. We'll do that. Annalisa, what are you thinking?
I don't wanna say I'm overwhelmed, but I feel like, you know.
But you are.
But there's a lot of information.
Yes, it's just like maybe on overload right now and sort of, like I have one dart and there's a lot of moving targets and I'm not quite sure like, and I don't want to not, have action by not acting, right? So I'm just sort of like prioritizing, and going back of where to hit and when. And I like that your question was like where do I start? And, our campus is already grounded very firmly with a concrete pictorial and abstract, but I think now it's observing if it's happening, when it's happening, how often is it happening? Is it only happening when y'all are on campus, right? Is it only happening when we're in the classroom, that sort of thing? So just a lot to think about.
I think I would ask your teachers how they would measure that.
Just mull on it tonight too, and then if there's other questions that pop up, let's make sure we address that too when we first check in the morning, because that can help guide. some of the differentiation that we do tomorrow.
And I think from like a logistics point, I keep like eyeballing down like, oh, science material, oh, science room, oh, material, you know, like, we can say all these things and really enforce all of these with our teachers, but unless they have the materials in their hands, like you said, easily accessible. And so one of the joys of my position is dealing with all the inventory on campus, right? So I just wanna make sure that our teachers have what they need. And we are blessed to have a plethora of math manipulatives, but it's organizing them, making those not into some cabinet in room 309 that's just stuffed away, right? Like getting those things out and saying, here's what you need, here's the buffet, like, what do you need?
Okay. Okay, one of the processes that
Mm-hmm.
we are going to go through tomorrow will be that, like, how do you get this information, how do you ask the questions, how do you design what you're gonna need? Susanna?
Mine's probably just a comment.
Okay.
I agree with everything that, all of these ladies have talked about and, you know, just needing time together. But I'm like Dr. Browning right now, I'm kind of done. I kind of hit my wall and all I'm doing is thinking about all the things that I still need to do, so, my stress level's rising as we sit here.
Okay, okay. Well, hopefully I can alleviate some of that stress. In your books, under the research section, the first article in there is called it's from the Learning Policy Institute. It's the research to start with, but then it says examples of leadership development investments under ESA, and it's showing you how to do the, like plans that they're using to support the leaders, and how they're using their Title II money, which is what we were just talking about.
And you'll notice Texas not
And
listed.
Texas
there.
is not listed. Texas is not listed, which means Texas doesn't have any plan they have to follow. Which means that as we're working through things, tomorrow especially, think of it in terms of the priority you have for your campus. Let's figure out how you can, request these funds and go to Faith and Ross and Mark and say, okay, I would like to be able to do this. Can we use Title II monies? Can we use Title IV monies? Can we use, what funding is not, it's like, how do I get the funding to do this?
Yeah.
Not, can I have the funding to do this? How do I get the funding? It's like not a question whether you're gonna get the funding, it's how are you going to help me get it?
Has this Title II money, like we've already had it, do we know what
You
they've
have
you
to
have
have
it.
some.
Do
It
we
is,
know what they've
it's
spent it on?
teacher
before?
professional development. That's what your Title II, that's what these funds
Probably
are.
what Lockhart has spent it on, like, let's say last year.
Right. I don't know what they
Teach
spent.
resource or something
Could,
like that.
yes, it
There
could
you
have
go,
been.
probably.
Okay.
It probably was, cause they came in so new,
Right.
that would have been the way that they spent it, possibly, I don't know. But you guys have direct access now to the decision makers.
I think I would urge you to think about big picture things, and I'm thinking like this math science alignment, cause that's gonna play out in a lot of different details. So think about, what are your major goals, and then how then are you gonna get there? I would have a minimum list. You're gonna have some monies for professional development. It's only minimum, what is critical I wanna do, and then what I call the gravy, the chocolate list of if I get more funds, these are the priorities for it. But we still need for y'all to tell us what you need. We can teach anything we want. So you tell us that your teachers are having trouble with some kind of math area, Browning can, she can teach that.
Y'all kind of have a list compiled of different grants maybe available out there to help us with funds. I wrote a grant for the outdoor learning space this year, I was really disappointed I didn't get it, but
Well, keep trying.
I know.
If you don't ask, they can't say yes.
Yeah.
We don't have lists of those. We get some notices, and I usually send those out through, to our mixed participants, including the teachers and the principals. There are, there are small grants like the robotics, what was that, $2,500 that liquor?
I think it was 2,000.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much, so I mean, even with a little bit of money, you can do stuff. But I would definitely go and think about your nonprofit people, like your Master Naturalists, and the Lions Club, and the, you know, any kind of bigger businesses. I know Lockhart does not have bigger businesses, but you tend to be growing out from Austin.
Our biggest thing we've been able to do is write for the Education Foundation.
Absolutely,
So,
that's a
Because we're
great
not
team.
allowed to solicit from businesses.
yeah.
Yeah, but you can check with, like, HEB has grants, Home Depot has grants,
Yeah, I mean, Target.
utilities have grant, like, a lot of people have, a lot of businesses now have a foundation that is targeted for whatever, and you have to apply for it, especially the utility companies. Yeah. I wrote grants to GVTC, that's how I got my,
That's a telephone company.
yeah, in my area, yeah.
Would you write the grant for?
I wrote it, one of them for, iPods for K through 2. They financed that. I wrote it for, financing a smart board. I wrote it for, the best one was, I wrote it for, to fund my financial literacy program that I wanted for K-5. The fifth graders were the bankers, and we had Lone Star Bucks, and everybody got paid 5 Lone Star Bucks on Monday, run by the fifth graders, and then each grade level then GVTC donated $100 per quarter per grade level. So then we suggested they spend 2, save 2, donate 1. So then they combined at the end of the 9 weeks what they donated, they turned it into real money, which GVTC provided, and they chose one of the charities in the area that they wanted to, like the first grade gave it to the, animal shelter, Fifth grade actually pooled theirs in the spring and bought Polartec fleece and made those stadium blankets that you cut the fringe and tie the knots. They made 20 of those and gave them to the to the women's shelter, for the kids that came to the women's shelter, that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things I wrote for. That would be an extracurricular thing that somebody could do, whatever.
I wanna tell you 2 quick things that Lori's done. She is really so creative. She's just amazing. She, started having, I don't know what she called it, but it was not tutoring on Friday afternoon. She would choose 5, 6, 7 kids, and she would pre-teach on Friday afternoon, whatever was gonna be on Monday. And she's phenomenal about bringing up kids, raising, targeting those kids who need it. And she did it with this pre-teach idea. And we talked about that with your teachers.
I've used that before in my former campus, we would, instead of, because we always did remediation and it wasn't successful, so we did acceleration. And so throughout the whole, on Mondays and Wednesdays, it was math or science. Tuesday, Thursday, it was ELA or history, and we front-loaded whatever that the concepts that were gonna be taught, whether it was vocabulary or STEM devices or anything like that. And then they go in, and that just gave them that whole time true teaching time. It was great.
Well, even
You're a
for a
teacher.
It was in the morning. For us, we did it every morning.
even for a
During lunch
teacher,
break.
having to make up and remediate, it bears on the soul a little bit.
Mhm.
So be able to front load,
Absolutely,
it's a different spirit that you come with, I think.
absolutely.
And then also it was times where, you could, we would do that most of the time, but then it also gave us time when we saw an area where they were struggling, we could do some targeted intervention during that time instead if we needed to, with certain kids. I love it,
Okay.
but front loading is great.
Think
Wait a
about,
minute, I had a
Oh,
second
oh yeah,
one
I'm
here.
sorry.
The other thing that she did that was very common but very successful, because I've been in her classrooms a lot, was just having, some kind of banking system. So it's, the store, whatever it is. And it just, was taught such leadership to kids, and it was just very, very successful. And the district made her stop. I don't know why, but they did. I know, well, it's, big districts and, they tend to do things like that.
Okay, what I was gonna say is, think about, you've already said that you need math manipulatives teaching for your grade levels. If you were looking at, you need math teachers.
I need math teachers.
Yeah, so
I'll find
Just-
contracts tomorrow on that.
think about then, if you need that, how could you structure that, monthly? And do it during the day? How can you manage that? If you can get, first of all, if you train subs, how can you do flip in the morning? Can you do a session in the morning and then flip and do a session in the afternoon? How can you manage that? Because we know Browning, you can get Browning.
Only on Thursdays, only on Fridays and maybe Thursdays,
So think on a Friday, you know,
for free.
for free you can get it.
After
So
that,
you
it's
could do it,
not
but
free.
if you do it now, if you plan it, then she can put it in her schedule, she can come, she can do it. We know we can do it through February.
But you said it'd have to be before the Saturday dates, and we don't have those dates yet.
You'll
You said
have
they'll have
those
them
next
We'll have
week.
for you,
She said
We will
we'll
have those
next
next
week.
week.
Next week, did they choose them?
No, we've never had them.
I thought we did.
Well,
So I have a
we do have
question.
them.
You talked about a teacher profile, something. I just went through all that we needed something about our teachers.
It was in that original email that I sent
So
to
I
you.
searched all my emails, I can't find anyone from you that says that, that's why I'm looking. Okay, please send it to me so I
Can
can
I
make
give
sure.
y'all your shirts today?
I don't wanna be wrong, I mean,
I have,
do good
uh, I have white shirts here. We call these our field trip because they're white and it's hot outside, you know. And I have, odds and ends, I have I have 2XL, I have no idea who fits what. And then I have these, so we have one of each for you. So if you don't mind, I'd like for you to be able to get yours today, and then if we need to order, then we can order them for you. Is that okay?
Let me check, I think I still have mine at home,
Okay,
if I need them, I'll get
okay,
So come over here.
yeah, come on. You have to sign for them, don't
Oh,
forget.
bring my pen.
No, I got a pen, don't put it.
I got one.
Okay.
Lori, do me a favor, when are you gonna interview for those math, so if I'm losing that fifth grade teacher,
Girl, I don't even, next week.
okay.
I wouldn't be surprised, I'm sorry.
Cause if that happens, I'm gonna probably take my, when I move to fourth, move her back to fifth, I just hired one for third, move her to fourth, she's taught fourth before, and it's easier for me to hire a third grade teacher than a fourth or fifth grade teacher.
We have to.
So,
We're producing those EC6s by the gazillions.
You know, we just hired a student teacher from Texas State who we had last year, and she's incredible.
Good.
Good. Very
I can't claim any credit for those. I mean, it'd have to be the program.
mm-hmm.
Good, good,
Good.
Hard worker too.
good. That's my expectation. Hard worker.
Question, Dr. West.
Yes, ma'am.
The pattern blocks that we were using today,
Yeah.
did principals get them or just the teachers?
Well, I don't know, I haven't thought about it.
So you can model faculty meetings.
I'll take pattern blocks,
We did some-
anytime you're giving stuff away, I'll take it.
I'll have to
Discourse
give it to
was
you
one of
tomorrow,
the- my
because
staff's
I'll give it to you
favorite.
without signing out.
I'm gonna do this for you.
Yeah,
And I
these
broke
are
them
like
into
in
different,
Polo and.
pods, cooperative groups across grade levels, they can just work there. Even the librarian was in there, and then they had a problem, and then they had to solve manipulatives, using discussion. Hard, and then some of them took it down.
I mean, you guys know that one,
Like an
shows on the outside of the
That sounds like
So,
So, I was gonna say, so do you do staff development like that, or just do your housekeeping?
at the time, we didn't have enough to ask for.
I have a Friday
but I don't
focus
know
newsletter, and
what,
that's where
how
I
that works now, so. But yeah, I think
Let's talk about that, logistics of that tomorrow, because I think that's will help. As she gets well.
See, cause I always do like this, and I'm like, okay, but you got the,
Did you get a larger medium?
I got large.
I got a large.
So you can see your body.
Yes.
My body's.
In my mind, I'm a small.
I was gonna say, any of you sew, every time I put this on, I think, I'm just gonna put a vent right here. Something that, because it hangs down low.
I was trying to say, I have a meeting.
You probably.
I have a meeting.
we lost it last year.
Well, just try it on, if it doesn't work.
Like, first of all, December 12th.
What's your guys' tomorrow? Wednesday? by the way, we're gonna have a new teaching specialist. and
We're
she's
trying to
amazing.
give you,
Oh, God, did you hire somebody? That's so
Well,
exciting.
her name was submitted and I just got called for her reference, cause I'm one of her
Oh,
references.
good.
From Del Valle or
No,
Hayes?
from Hayes.
Oh, that's so
She's
exciting.
amazing.
Come hang out with my friend.
Yes, I've already told her about you, I told her about your friend a while ago.
That's great.
I,
my friend. I saw Spencer the other day and
Okay, guys, we will see you all in Yona. Everybody knows where to park, et cetera.
We're in the same room, right?
Yes.
8:30 here, is it 8:30 tomorrow?
Thank you.
she's going to Margaret.
8:30, okay.
She can make you guys start at 8, so I'll be a little bit late.
Will we get out
So we're-
earlier?
she's there,
Yeah, there's a caveat.
7:30, so she won't take too long.
I'm okay with eight.
So, yeah, so I apologize, and she said that she's like, you have to start at the meet, because we have to let my child do it. Or you guys are saying to make sure.
Yeah, I'm
I knew these things.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
Are you, Lori, are you okay with this?
I know, girl.
Well, y'all can start whenever, I am gonna be late, because I have to do Miss Brent's in the morning, my staffing. So, to reconcile that position.
Sometimes a big deal.
We're gonna be here at 8.
But that's okay.
So we can get out early.
Someone has to text, the other people.
Like Ross will be late.
Because tomorrow is like our Friday.
True story. And I was gonna work this Friday, and I'm not, I decided to forget it. I wanna do the Deanna plan.
Principal.
I know.
Next year I'm doing the Deanna plan.
I'm telling you, it's the best.
Every Monday.
But I'm gonna use 2 days next week, so I feel like I'm gonna get.
Well, here's what I do, I take off Mondays, so then you're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday,
my
4 days, and then you work 3 days.
so.
All 4 days, work 3 days.
That makes sense.
We must live close.
I don't think so. You didn't, I didn't get days, neither did I.
Which is heaven for me.
Non-contract.
Because
Hey, I'm gonna do a little bit of work, cause I'm just calling Lydia and it's gonna take her.
I'm doing work at home.
Let's see, it's 3:38, I told her we'd probably get out about 4.
I got all my references, but you people find some all their stuff now.
What do you mean, I'm gonna sit and do, you waiting for a
Well,
ride?
Sally.
Oh, no, we're gonna meet a friend for afternoon. Yeah, so I told her. Yes.
I would be surprised if you didn't hire a teacher, though. I really would.
Are they through with
Yeah,
you?
that's what
So,
I'm
so I'm gonna plan to lose her, just in
I
case.
go home and find that email and send it to you, and then
And I'll look too when I'm home.
I can find it, well, my round. I think.
No worries, it's not-
I'll try and just send it to you now. If I can get on the internet, I'll do it.
Okay, see y'all later.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks, you guys. You are awesome.
Also think about how would you like me to continue to, that's one of the things I'm gonna ask you tomorrow, is how can we keep this going? How can I continue to support it?
Can I
Because
invite her?
I mean, I think so. It's
Are we gonna be in the
nice.
same room tomorrow?
Yes,
Can we leave some of this here?
yes, I'm gonna. I wouldn't leave your technology.
No, I'm gonna take it in my bag, just
But
my
I think you're-
binder.
yes, your
My binder,
binder.
so I can leave the binder.
And then
Yep.
then I'll unload some stuff in my bag for tomorrow.
But I wanna have ongoing time with you.
I will honestly say my biggest thing is they all come and they go, oh, I wanna use the block, or, because
Okay,
I bought
good,
a
good,
bunch
thank
of
you.
blocks on the centimeter cubes, and I bought the nuts rods, and I've got a bunch of that extra stuff that's not, cause we have what, it shouldn't be the math program we have, I can't even think about it. Patricia, what's the math program we have?
Go math.